Hello, and welcome to another X-Pro tutorial for SolidWorks modeling. In this tutorial, we will be designing this table made out of rectangular profiles and a wooden board, and another table made out of sheet metal tubes and also a wooden board. For designing these two tables, we will be using developments in SolidWorks. In order to show you what elements are, I'm going to make a new part and draw a sketch here. It doesn't matter what the dimensions are. I'm going to exit the sketch and go to the tab called
Weldments.
If you don't have it, just right-click somewhere in this area, go to Tabs and find
Weldments
and check it. Let's go to Velvet, and I will select Structural Member. Here you can find a selection. Here I have several ones. Let's select square tubes, which I want are rectangular tubes, and size 70 by 50 by 2.5. And let's just click on these two lines. Basically, what the developments feature does is it creates two bodies, which are separate, similar to something that I would create if I would use Swept Boss here in the features. So basically what it does, it uses a sketch and simply sweeps a 3D body. Along these sketch lines, I drew the difference between a Weldments and a standard SolidWorks 3D model. Here you have this Weldment signed, and you now have a cut list. And here it says I have two rectangular profiles, 70 by 50 by 2.5 of thickness. This is the first one, and this is the second one. Basically, what it does, it creates 3D models of developments or tubes, parts that can be welded together. And it does this a lot faster than using standard features such as Extrude Boss, Revolve Swept Boss, and so on. If you want to create a steel structure or a steel frame similar to that, then you can use Weldments. I'm going to exit this part. We are going to make this table first. Another thing I want to mention is that you can use 3D sketches and 2D sketches for creating developments for this table. We are going to use the 2D sketches for this table here. We are going to use a combination of 2D and 3D sketches for development. Specifically, we are going to use a 3D sketch. Let's start with modeling at this simple table. As always, I'm going to use millimeters. Firstly, let's create a plane. Just drag the right plane to the right. Let's make it 550 millimeters to the right. And we are going to right-click on this new plane. And SolidWorks will automatically put the view normal to this plane. Let's sketch a line and put it in the center. And also, make the origin coincident. This line will be 700 millimeters long. Now let's add another line, like this. Double-click to interrupt the command. Also, another line here, and just follow what I do. I'm going to delete this one. I want it to be a single line, and I'm just going to connect these. And we are going to add another line here. Now let's add some dimensions. These two are supposed to be parallel. This one is supposed to be horizontal. This one too. Now let's add some dimensions. From this point to this point, it should be 250 millimeters. It will be the same here as well. Just make sure that the dimension is parallel to this line. The distance between these two lines is 125. Here, we have a 110-degree angle. These two lines are supposed to be parallel, and here we have a distance of 800 millimeters. And let's say that these 2 points are horizontal. Also, let's make these 2 points horizontal. We can see that these two lines are equal, however we want them to be vertical. Let's say that these 2 points are vertical, and there we go. I will just expand this plane. Now we have a fully defined sketch. Let's exit the sketch. We can hide this plane. And now let's go to the
Weldments
tab and let's select the structural member. We can start adding rectangular tubes to the sketch. We want square tubes. For type, we want rectangular ones. And for a size, I want 70 by 50 by 2.5. Firstly, I will select this one. If you want, you can rotate the profile. Now in the first group, I will add another path segment. And I want this tube to stand above this one. So let's just apply a different corner treatment. Let's add this one. This is the end for these groups. And let's make a new group. This is the way I want it. Another one here, since these two lines are parallel, I can put these two sketch segments under the same group. And there we go. When you look at the cut list, now I have 6 different rectangular tube 3D models. Let's save this part. I will call it Table 1. Next thing I want to do is cut these profiles here in one plane so that I can put the wooden board upon them. What I will do is create a new plane somewhere. In this point, when you look at the profiles from this view, you can see this is the lowest point on this edge here. Let's confirm this plane. And what I will do is go to Weldments tab and use Trim Extent feature. For bodies to be trimmed, I will select these two. As a trimming boundary, I will select this face or plane tree. Here, it automatically says, discard these 2 segments and keep these 2 lower ones. Let's confirm this. And there we go. Now we have cut the tubes the way we want. Now let's make a sketch here on this new plane, and let's draw a center rectangle, 850 by 100, and let's add another one. For this one, I will convert the outer edges to center lines. Let's add another one and make these 4 circles equal. I need to add this distance, for example, it will be 15. Distance between these 2 lines is 15 too. Now, this is still underdefined. I didn't make this equal to these other circles. In addition, we can extrude this plate by 2.5 millimeters. I can hide this plane in this sketch. Now, I don't like the way this profile looks on its ends. If this shape next to the arrow appears, you can press F5 and simply unselect it here. This is a filter you can use for sketch segments, faces, and so on. Press F5 to hide this menu. So what I was going to say is, I don't like this profile. It has sharp edges here. I just wanted to have a vertical cut on both ends. I can start a sketch on plane 1 and add 2 corner rectangles from this point to this point, and the same way on the other side. Now simply go to Features, Extrude Cut. I will select through all both. And there we go. You can see that I have openings in these tubes which I would like to close. I don't have to make a new sketch and go to Features, Extrude, Boss, and so on. There is a feature called End Cap, which you can use to close all of these openings. What you want to select is the parameters, for example, this surface here. Now, for the thickness direction, I want it to be inside the tube, 2.5 millimeters thick, for example. And I want to have a corner treatment, a fillet of 3 millimeters. And for example, for offset value here, let's have 0.5. And now I will just select the rest of the openings. All of the openings are closed. We can confirm this command. Now we can mirror all of these bodies to the other side to have the other leg of the table. Let's click on the right plane, go to Features, and select Mirror. So the mirror face or plane is already selected. This is the right plane. And now I'm going to select Bodies to Mirror. For this, I will simply just circle around all of these bodies here, and everything will be selected automatically. There we go. You can notice in the cut list that the profiles that were used and that were created using the structural member are marked as this type here, elements and the caps, and the plates here are marked as solid bodies. So this is the difference between using developments or standard features such as Boss Extrude. Now we have to add the wooden board. We can make a sketch here by right-clicking, Sketch. I'm going to use an ellipse. Let's just draw it like this. So I am going to say that this point and the origin are horizontal. Now we have to add some dimensions. This will be 1,300. This will be 2,300. And we can now extrude this sketch, let's say 50 millimeters. Let's confirm the command. Let's add some fillets or chamfers. For example, 10 millimeters here and here. And there we go. Let's save this and rotate it a bit. We can add some color to the legs. I will hide this board here just by hovering over it and clicking on Tab. The only thing that remains now are 2 legs. Let's proceed to the Edit Appearance section. I will select this dark gray. And I will just select these 2 legs and confirm the command. Now I want to unhide the board. I can find it here in the Cat List tab, or I can try Shift tab. There we go. I want to add a wood appearance to this board. Let's go to Appearance here on the right and open this drop-down menu. Let's find organic wood, for example, walnut. Just drag it over and select the body. And to make this a bit more realistic, I want to edit this appearance so I can find it here in the design tree. Here it is in the display manager. And now I have polished walnut. Let's just right-click Edit Appearance. And you can see that this plane appears when you drag it outwards. You increase or decrease the density of this appearance. When I extend the plane, I made the woods look more realistic. And let's just confirm this command. Double-click the scroll button to zoom in. And there we go. We can save this table. Now we will first make this base and after that, this plate here. Then we will add these legs that are under specific angles. After that, we will add the wooden board. Let's go to the new part. Let's make a sketch on the front plane. Firstly, I will draw a line here, then go up like this. And I will add another center line here. Let's add a dimension right away, 10 millimeters. This one will be 50. The diameter of the base will be 800 millimeters. This height is 20. And we have a 45-degree angle here. We have a fully defined sketch. Now we can go to Features and use Revolve Boss to make this a 3D model. And let's save this. Call it Table 2. Let's add a new plane here. I will use the top plane and just drag it upwards. Make it 750 millimeters. Now let's make a sketch on it that will look normal to this plane. I will draw a circle that is 100 millimeters in diameter. And I will just offset this inwards by 100 millimeters. Let's extrude this. Go to Features, Extrude Boss 2.5 millimeters upwards. Let's firstly hide this plane. I will make a sketch on this lower surface of this ring. And let's just offset this edge by 50 millimeters inwards. I'll do the same down here. So right-click Sketch. And let's offset this by 50 millimeters reverse. Now I will connect these two sketches. I will connect these two sketches using a 3D sketch that will actually be a path for the A pipe. So now we will go to Sketch or under
Weldments
tab, and we already have a 3D sketch. So the first thing I will do is draw a center line from the origin upwards and then left and connect this to this sketch here. And I will make this along X. Now let's connect these two. Let's make them parallel. This looks good. Now I will add another central line here and connect it to this sketch. And now let's add an angle emission, for example, 125 degrees. And there we go. Now we have to connect these 2 points using a standard line, which will actually be a path for the tube. We can exit the sketch and go to this tab. Now you can see that this tube is actually in collision with this ring. And it's not touching the ring in this area. The same thing is happening below, so I have to trim this area and extend this one. I will go here and select Trim Extent Bodies to be trimmed. For trimming boundary, I will use this plane. So there we go. SolidWorks has cut the axis tube and extended where it needed to make the tube touch the surface. Let's confirm this feature and save the part. Now we can use a circular pattern to add more tubes. We can go to Features, Circular Pattern. For direction, I can use this sketch or maybe this edge here. And let's go here to Bodies and select these tubes. I want them along 360-degree angle equally spread. And I want 8 of them in total. We can add some holes for screws. The way I can do it is by going to Reference Geometry in the Features. Add an axis here and confirm it. And again, add another axis here. Now let's make a sketch on this surface above. And I can add a point here and here. I want it connected to this here. And I can see that this point and axis of the tube are coincident. Now let's make a center line from the origin to this circle. This line and these 2 points are symmetric. Let's just add a 7 millimeter circle. Let's go to Sketch tab, the Linear Sketch Pattern, drop-down menu, and select a circular pattern. I want this circle here, and I want 8 pieces. Let's clear this and just select this arc. Connect it here. And now I will have to add some sort of a coincidence. There we go. I made this point coincident to the circle. And now I have fully defined sketch. Now let's just go to Feature, Extrude Cut, and I will select the surface up to this surface here. There we go. We can hide these sketches now. Let's save the part. And now it's time to add the wooden board. Let's make a sketch on the front plane. I will start by going to Sketch and selecting the line. Again, let's repeat this. Let's right-click on the front plane. Go to the Sketch tab and select the line and start from this center. Make this line 50 millimeters. This one will be 10. Connect these 2 points. Let's add a center line. We can make this center line equal to this vertical line. And let's add a 30-degree angle between these 2 lines. So from here to this center line, 400 millimeters. And let's just go to Features, Revolve Boss to make this a 3D model. You can save this. As we did for the table one, let's hide the board. Go to Appearances. We can select the same color. Select Bodies. Confirm this. Let's unhide the board and add a wooden appearance, for example. Let's use walnut again to this body. We can make this more realistic. So let's go to the Features tab, edit this appearance, and drag this plane a bit. There we go. Let's confirm this. Now we have a nice table. There we go. I hope you liked the design, and I hope you enjoyed our tutorial. See you in the next one.